Hello there. How are you today? Hmm. I've been sitting here waiting for the time to start. I actually woke up about 10 minutes to 3. Yes. You're going to think I'm nuts today, but when I'm sitting there in the meditation room this morning, pondering different things and observing where I am emotionally and just feeling my feelings and watching my thoughts in relation to all that's happening in my world, this title came to me. The Illuminati and the Awakening. And I wrote a blurb for it about 45 minutes ago. Crazy as it may sound, I think we are all on a divine mission, despite how it appears in 3D. What if the Illuminati's mission was to awaken humanity, to actually empower us to become free? What if their job here is almost complete as we progress through this ninth wave? Can you imagine what would happen if they returned all the money they have stolen and used it to enrich the entire world? I know, crazy as it may sound. I went and I looked during this period of time that I've been waiting till 4:44 to begin the video. And I'm looking at the charts, the two charts, one with the starting date is February 11th and one the starting date on March 9th. And I don't think the numbers completely jive with the 11 one, but it's funny, and I lost my place there. I'm scrolling down to re-find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. May the 2nd, which is the day after tomorrow, on the 11th chart is the beginning of the third day, and it's about empowerment. Day 2 on the May 9th chart, or I should say night 2, I'm sorry. Night 2 is May the 2nd through May the 19th, and it's about reaction. And I was looking at these charts and what they're supposed to mean, and of course it's speculation, but I'm trying to fit into them what's happening in my world as I'm perceiving it. And everyone is going to be in a different place. But I do find it fascinating. We've been in germination, according to the March 9th chart, and stabilization, according to the other chart. But cycle 4 in the other chart says is when polarized factions come to blows over their differences, and that's certainly that's certainly happening in the Republic, as we've talked about earlier in the week. But today, I don't want to get sidetracked too much. I have a tendency to do that, as some of you may have noticed. But I want to stick with the subject that was given to me. I have long held the thought that God is all that is. I can't remember when I first came to that realization, and to me it was a realization of truth, that everything is God. The light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, all of the pairs of opposites are God expressing from different vantage points. And one of my crazier visions is about the Illuminati. Of course, we all know that Illuminati means the enlightened ones. We also know that as we've come to know the Illuminati in our day and age, they are the dark workers. And I did a video a while back, the dark workers on the light side. One of the purposes, I believe, for dark work is to accelerate the awakening, to accelerate evolution. Because of the nature of human beings, and that's primarily the target of evolution from my perspective, the nature of human beings is to be apathetic and lazy. I can see that in myself. Sometimes when I just don't want to do anything, I want to just sit back and watch things happen, let things happen. And sometimes that's what I have to do exactly. But I have a tendency sometimes not to want to actually take action. I want to just wait till something happens that I have to respond to. And then I respond. And boy, those things have been happening in my life this year. I've had to respond to different things and go back over things that I thought were completed previously and go back and rehash the same situations over again. So I know in my own life it takes sometimes dark things happening to propel me forward. And I believe that's what the Illuminati has been doing for the past few hundred years, give or take. 250 anyway. They have been playing the dark role to produce the consciousness in mankind where we are willing by force to respond to situations that are unjust, unfair, horrendous in many cases, all in the attempt to awaken us. And I asked the question at the end of my little blurb, what would happen if they returned all the money they've stolen? Because the Illuminati, if they're anything else, they are the international bankers. They are the ones that have financed both sides in every war. They make money by building armaments, by destroying, and by rebuilding. And they keep amassing greater and greater and greater wealth. And the banks in our generation are forcing people out of their homes and threatening and doing all sorts of crazy things. And this is all Illuminati work to awaken us, to get us to claim our power. That's my take on it. As I face things in my own life that are disappointing to say the least and challenging, in fact, I realize what it's doing is it's waking up something inside of me that is giving me a sense of power that I never knew I had. And I don't believe I'm alone in this. I believe that there are many of us that are awakening to that. And I observe how short-lived sometimes the fear is when it comes up, when things happen in my life that are challenging, like the bank threatening and different things, which I will talk to about more at another time. But these are the things, these injustices that are being rained down on humanity around the globe, all over the place. They're being rained down, and people are waking up. We're watching the uprisings. But what would happen if the bankers said, okay, we've done this all for you? They have an awakening themselves. And I do believe, sincerely, I am convinced in my heart that some of the Illuminati at least are awakening. Some have awakened. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced. It's probably happening more in Europe than the United States. In other words, the Rothschild branch as opposed to the Rockefeller branch. The Rockefeller branch is still, I feel, pretty much in the dark. I sense, and it's just a sense, I don't know, but I sense that in Europe, factions, at least within the Illuminati, are awakening. And they hold tremendous wealth. I mean, it's not measured in what the news media reports. I mean, forget Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and some of the names you've heard about in the news of being these multi-billionaires. Forget that. I'm convinced that some of these, the real power behind all of this stuff, are trillionaires, and maybe more than trillions even. I mean, it is phenomenal wealth that they have stolen through this debt process of wealth creation. I mean, they turn everything into more and more and more money, enough to make every human being on the planet a millionaire. Now, I've said this before, that I sincerely believe that ultimately we're heading toward a cashless culture. From what I've heard from channeled messages from entities that talk about their other cultures in other galaxies and other planets, it's a foreign thing for them to have, for people in their, for beings in their cultures to have to pay to live on the planet they were born on. Only on Earth do we have this thing called money as the means of measuring wealth and as the means of exchange. And it's not even, it's debt is what it's been happening for a long time now. It's actually the creation of more and more debt. But these debts, if you put them into dollars, I mean, forget trillions, it's quadrillions at least, maybe bigger number than that. It's all on paper. It's all in computers. They're just numbers with a lot of zeros and a lot of digits. Enough, as I said, to make everyone on the planet, every man, woman, boy, and girl on the planet, a millionaire. Can you imagine what would happen if there was, for a generation, just one generation, equal distribution of wealth, where everybody had the chance to be wealthy, and there was no limitation put on anyone? If the Illuminati just said, okay, we've done this for you, what are you going to do with it? Here, humanity, we're giving it back to you. What are you going to do with it? Talk about a ninth wave. Talk about co-creation. Talk about unity consciousness. Would we develop unity consciousness if we were all of a sudden given all of that? Or is it going to take a little bit more darkness and a little bit more junk thrown at us before we awaken up? But I do believe it's well within the realm of, to me, it's even probability that the Illuminati are going to play a positive role before this whole thing is over. Because remember, we're all cut from the same cloth. No matter what role we're playing, we're all creatures of divine creation. We all have within us the flame of freedom, that spark of love and life. We all have it. And we live in a pretty dark world right now, but it's waking up. Humanity is waking up. So I ask you to consider these crazy ideas that I've thrown at you today, and consider putting intention into the awakening of those that seem to be playing the dark roles, those we call the Illuminati, those we call the international bankers, those we call the courts and the governments, those that have seemed to hold the reins of power, when in fact it is us, we, the humans, that really hold the power if we'll use it. As David Icke says, get up off your knees. Start doing what you came to do. Start envisioning the Illuminati awakening. I believe it's already happening, but let's give that more love. Let's give that greater intent, because this is the ninth wave, the time of conscious co-creation. I'm going to leave you with that. Namaste. Have a good day and a great weekend. Bye now.